Welcome, good morning. Now that you've got your drawing composition set, you are ready to start painting. Before you do begin, you want to check off and just kind of make sure that you have everything you need. So you want to have at least 3 objects. They should all be melting. It can be the same object, it can be different objects. You want to place them in a clear composition. So all those compositions that we talked about before, L shape, which goes like this, an arc, a linear composition, a pyramid, a diagonal, which is what I have here. You want to make sure that you're creating clear movement with your objects so that your eye is traveling through the page with that composition. And then you want to go through and just make sure that you have some of your values labeled. It's going to make it a lot easier when you're painting if you kind of have a plan and you know where you're going to put everything. So the next piece is to actually paint this thing. And what you want to do with this is mix up your 5 colors. You want to have 1 true hue. You want to have 2 tints where you're adding white and getting those lighter highlights. And you want to have 2 shades where you're adding black to create those darker tones. And as you're painting, you want to keep a little water in your brush. You want to take that color and you want to find the highlights. I like to start light, so I'm going to bring in that 1 value and just start punching in some of those lighter tones. Finding those values on the object, figuring out kind of where there are. This is why it can be helpful to have everything kind of planned out before you start painting. I would do 1 value at a time. So I would start with the 1, and then I would do all the 2s, all the 3s, and then all the 4s, and all the 5s, and work my way around the paper. That way, it's a very methodical, smart way to paint. You're moving your way through the piece, and you're kind of keeping track of what colors you're doing. It goes a lot faster than if you just kind of do a little bit of value on each object. So finding those highlights, punching them in, and then one thing you're going to want to do is bring in one background tone, one background color. So pick any of your colors and then just paint the whole background with that color. I'm going to go with the dark one here. A nice solid tone should look good for this. You don't have to do anything fancy with it, though if you want to, you can bring in some blending or bring in some different values, but I think 1 would look good and then keep the focus on your objects. So you're going to paint the whole background and just work your way through each object. And that is the basics of how you paint your monochromatic melting objects. Thanks for listening.